Hello, my dear students. A very warm welcome to you all in this second lecture of genetics. In the first lecture, you saw what is genetics, what is heredity or inheritance. Next, you saw the three laws of Mendel, and we ended up on the seven characteristics of the pea plant that Mendel studied in his experiment. So, I am continuing this lecture with the Mendel's three laws. So the first two laws of Mendel, which are law of dominance and law of segregation, these two laws are applicable for monohybrid cross. Okay, fine. Don't worry about what is monohybrid cross. I know that genetics is a new chapter for you all. So I'll be explaining each and every thing in detail. Just be calm and listen to me. At the same time, I also request you to take out your pen and paper so that you can also make notes. So the first two laws are applicable for the monohybrid cross, and the third law is applicable for the dihybrid cross. Now this is very much important to remember this thing. Nobody is going to ask you straight away that which of the three laws are applicable for monohybrid cross and which law is applicable for the dihybrid cross. No straight question will be formed from this, but this thing will build up your concept, and you can use this concept in some indirect questions, such as if there is some question, then you can understand that yes, if they are talking about monohybrid cross, then the first two laws will be applicable, the third law will not be applicable here. So you can understand it from your own concept. So there will be indirect questions, but this is very much important for you to know that the third law is applicable only for the dihybrid cross. Okay, fine. So let us understand what is monohybrid cross and what is dihybrid cross. So basically, cross is an experiment in biological science where two living organisms are allowed to reproduce. So monohybrid cross and dihybrid cross are the two types of crosses. So cross is also termed as hybridization experiment, or in some places you can find the word breeding. In place of crossing, you will find the word breeding. So breeding, either you say breeding or crossing, or you can say hybridization experiment. So monohybrid and dihybrid cross are the two types of hybridization experiments. So in the monohybrid cross, mono means one and hybrid means mixture. So in the monohybrid cross, the scientists study just one single gene. One represents one gene. So in monohybrid cross, the scientists study only one single gene. But in the dihybrid cross, when two living organisms are allowed to reproduce, so the two characteristics or the two genes of the offspring are studied together. Di means two, so two represents two genes. In dihybrid cross, two genes are studied simultaneously or at the same time. In same way, there is trihybrid cross also, but for this chapter you have to know monohybrid and dihybrid crosses only. Next, I just introduced you with the term gene. I told that monohybrid cross is a cross in which only a single gene is studied. So now let us understand what are genes. However, you will understand genes in more detail in the second chapter of this unit. The second chapter of this unit is about molecular basis of inheritance. So there you will understand genes in proper way. But for this chapter, I just want you to know that genes are the units of inheritance. The same definition is given in your NCERT also. Genes are the units of inheritance. You would have studied that cell is the unit of life. Cell is the unit of life. Same way, genes are the units of inheritance. Means if I have told you that inheritance is the passing on of characters from parents to the offspring. So if passing on of those characters have to happen, then there should be some vehicle, something should be there which will carry the information from the parent up to the offspring about that particular character. So that particular thing which carries information from a parent to the offspring about one character, that particular thing is called genes. So let me give you some examples to explain genes more clearly. In the first example, let us take example of the character of tallness. So in the Mendel's experiment, Mendel chose a pea plant in that one of the character was stem height. So in the stem height, the stem can be the tall or dwarf. So stem height is the character, and tallness and dwarfness are two opposite characteristics. So these two opposite characteristics, tallness and dwarfness, are actually referred to as traits. Character is the height, stem height, and its two traits are tallness and dwarfness. But for my convenience to explain this the concept of genes, I am taking tallness directly as a character. I am not taking tallness as a trait. I am taking tallness as a character or as a feature. So for every feature in the living organism, there is one gene responsible, one or more genes. So for the tallness in pea plant, there can be two genes, two different genes. First gene is capital T, second gene is capital T small t. So these two genes are responsible for tallness. Capital T is the gene for tallness, then capital T small t is also the gene for tallness. Then second character is dwarfness. So the gene for dwarfness will be the small t. Same way, there is the gene for round seed, there is the gene for wrinkled seed. So there is some reason why the dwarfness is represented by small t and tallness is represented by capital T. That reason you will get to know in my further videos. So now one thing is clear from these examples is that for representation of the genes, scientists will use two alphabets like capital T. So this is one gene. When you write capital T in genetics, this will represent one single gene. Then small t will be one single gene. You cannot say dwarfness gene as small t only. No, that is not a gene. For a gene, two letters will be used. Same way for the wrinkled seed, you cannot use just one small r. You have to use two small r for the wrinkled seed. Well, so this was about the genes. Next thing, which is very much important for your board exam purpose also, as well as for the concept of NEET. So this concept, important thing is alleles. You have to understand what are alleles. When you have understood genes, so you can also understand alleles. This is very much important. So alleles are basically the contrasting pair of genes. Contrasting means opposite pair of genes. Fine, okay, so tallness and dwarfness are two different characteristics, two opposite traits. If a plant is tall, then it cannot be dwarf, and if a plant is dwarf, it cannot be tall at the same time. So tallness and dwarfness are contrasting traits. So for representation of the tallness, there is capital T, and for dwarfness it is capital small t. So let us come to the first example, in which I told that there are two genes for tallness, capital T and capital T small t. So just concentrate on the second gene, which is capital T small t. So in the capital T small t, capital T represents tallness and small t represents dwarfness. So if I separate out capital T, so this capital T out of capital T small t will represent one allele. And if I separate out small t from this capital T small t, then this small t will be the second allele. Means one gene is made up of two alleles. And these two alleles are of opposite nature. Capital T small t, in this particular gene, capital T small t, capital T is one allele and small t is second allele. So this was the concept of alleles, means one gene equal to two alleles. Okay, so I'm stopping here. uh, uh, Please keep following the channel for my next lectures. Thank you so much.